Success Squad, how are you guys doing this morning? I hope you guys are doing well. I am so sorry about last night. I apologize. Um, I don't know. For some reason, my sound wasn't working. I don't know why. Um, Today's live podcast is being done on my cell phone. Um, Last night, I was trying to do the live podcast on my laptop, and for some reason, the sound wasn't connecting to the streaming service I was using. So I am so sorry, and I was ready to go. If it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be, right? Go figure. Good morning, Success Squad. Good morning, Squaddies. I'll go ahead and look into the comments. I hope you guys are doing well this morning. And for us Americans, it's a weekend holiday. So give me a thumbs up, flowers, roses, all that stuff to let me know that you can hear me. Let's see. How you doing, Miss Lydia? It's good to see you. Black Queen. Black Queen is in the house. How are you doing? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Buenos dias. Hello, Miss Vera. Hello, Miss Sarah. How are you? Antoinette, how are you doing? The glasses that I have on, they're barely working for me. I need to go to the eye doctor and get a new prescription because your girl can't see. Jesus. That's what age will do to you. All right, so, we're going to go ahead and chat a little bit while people trickle in. There's a lot to talk about, right? But there's always a lot to talk about when it comes to our faves, right? There's always a lot to talk about when it comes to our faves. They have a lot going on. They got a lot of positivity going on, right? Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and take off my glasses. And I'll probably put them back on when I seriously can't see something. For those of you who are listening and you're not in the chat, welcome. If this is the first time that you're joining us, or if this is the first time that you've ever been on this channel, which is Meghan, Duchess of Advocacy channel, whenever I have time, we do live podcasts and we call them Sexist Talk, where we talk about our faves, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan. This channel is all about positivity and support and fanaticism when it comes to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. We are fanatical about these two. We're more than fans. We're supporters. We're diehard supporters. 247. There's no fence riding here. We don't do both sides. No, absolutely not. We don't do both sides. And the reason why we don't do both sides, the reason why we're very, very biased towards the other royals, and I'm talking about the UK royals, is because, they're crazy fans, and basically the whole British press and the Royal Rota, they're very unbiased. Get it together, Special K. They're very biased towards our faves. The Royal Rota and the British press, they give our faves no grace. None, zilch, nuka, never. They never do it. So therefore, here on this channel, Meghan, Duchess of Advocacy, Special K Thoughts, I'm your host. We give Fred and Gladys, Wank and Mummalina, or will not, cannot. What else do we call them? Squatties. That tangerine isn't as good as it looked. Rottweiler. King Corrupt, that's my favorite. That's what I came up with. King Corrupt. We give them no grace, none whatsoever, and we won't until the crazy fans, the Royal Road, and the British press back off our faves, give them grace, and start reporting unbiased news about them. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Again, welcome. Welcome to Sexist Talk. We're getting ready to talk about our faves. Boy, the title of this live podcast is Meghan Reigns. And I think it's a very fitting title for this live podcast because, my goodness, our girl, and I'm talking about Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. Boy, she's had a week, hasn't she? She has seriously had a week, a very good week, a very productive week this week. I want to start off by saying I am so proud of Meghan. I really am. She is somebody who is a go-getter. She is somebody who is going to continue to soldier on and do what she feels that's good in her heart. But boy, it's been a really good week, and I enjoy. I've enjoyed, I should say, watching her interview, and I've enjoyed With Love Meghan season 2. I have. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and talk about the interview, right? The interview that Meghan did with Emily, I believe it's Chang. Let me go ahead. Right now, what I'm doing, guys, is I'm looking at my laptop. Let's see. I love my X page. Okay, so Meghan did an interview with Emily Chang, and it's called The Circuit. It's Bloomberg, right? And what I loved about the interview, first of all, did you guys like the interview? Did Squatties, did you guys like the interview? Did you enjoy the interview that Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, did with Emily Chang? Did you guys like it? Give me a thumbs up. Give me some roses. Let me know how you guys felt about that interview. You know, hand praise, well, whatever you want to do what you got to do you. Okay. I liked the interview. Let's focus on Emily Chang. Okay. Let's focus on the interviewer. I'm seeing hand praises. So it looks like so far the consensus is that Squatties liked the interview. So let's focus on Emily Chang. Okay. I thought Emily Chang was a good interviewer, and I loved the questions that she asked. She asked a lot of questions, right? I mean, she asked a lot of questions, right? And I think even Meghan towards the end was like, whoa, it's so many questions. But Emily did. And what I liked about the questions that Emily asked were that she really tried to focus on the business, right? She really tried to focus on the business. A lot of the questions that she asked were business questions about as ever. Of course, she delved into the personal side, okay? But I just thought overall the Spitfire questions and the follow-up questions were really good. I thought this interview was one of Meghan's best interviews. I really did. And you could tell that it was one of Meghan's best interviews because the naysayers, and I don't want to really talk too much about the naysayers, but the naysayers, really all they focused in on was just a little bit of drama that, well, I should say, all they focused in on was the pantyhose stuff, right? When Meghan mentioned that, while she was, I guess, a working royal, that, well, no, she didn't even really mention. At the end of the day, what I loved about another thing that I loved about that interview was, them people, that family was really X'd out. And that's what they hate. That's what they can't stand. They, it's really extraordinary how, the naysayers don't want Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, talking about that family. Really, they don't want her talking, period, right? They want her to disappear. And even if she does disappear, they're still going to talk about her, right? They're still going to make up some bullshit about her. She's still going to be in the headlines, right? However, I think one of the reasons why they get so angry and they get so upset is because she doesn't talk about that family. They say they don't want her to talk about that family, but when she doesn't talk about that family, or when she doesn't mention them, they even get more incensed. But anyway, when Meghan was talking about being her authentic self, she did mention that while she basically was a working royal, that, she had to wear pantyhose, and she didn't like it. She felt that was unauthentic, right? Which makes absolutely perfect sense for her to say something like that as an American. We Americans don't wear pantyhose, okay? I mean, the last time I wore pantyhose, woo! That was like, what? My God. Do they still sell pantyhose here in America? American Squaddies, let me know. Elaine Parker, how are you? It's good to see you, Ma. Lorna, I see you. V. Thomas, I see you. Americans, do any Americans in the chat wear pantyhose? I haven't worn pantyhose in decades. I think, to be honest, I think the last time I wore pantyhose was when I was in the military. Like, seriously. So it was an honest answer, right? She felt unauthentic wearing pantyhose. That was just an honest answer. That was not a dig at that family. Okay? But of course, they're always going to spin, because they have to make it about that family. When the Duchess of Sussex speaks, they have to make it some way, somehow, in some form or fashion about that family. They have to. Why? Because reporting about will not and cannot and Fred and Gladys, it's not working. It's not cutting the mustard. It's not getting enough clicks. It's not selling enough papers. It's not getting enough engagement when they only talk about will not, cannot, Fred and Gladys. So they are so happy when Meghan does an interview. They are so happy when Meghan does something, because somehow, some way, in some form or fashion, they're going to make it about that family. Okay? And then I'm not talking about here in America, because I'm telling you, here in America, nobody's really talking about that family. So the headlines here for the most part, when Meghan does something, that family is not mentioned in the headlines. Okay. Not unless you're talking about the Daily Mail, the US version, right? But anyway, back to the interview. So let me look into the comments. Okay, so Black Queen says, me too. Only in the military did I wear pantyhose, and I disliked it. Felt so oppressive. Yeah. I agree, especially when it was hot, right? But yeah, I think the last time I wore pantyhose was when I was in the military, you know? And when I was in my dress greens, for the most part, I try to wear the pants. Every once in a while, I wear the skirt. But let me look into the comments. Okay, so overall, you guys enjoyed the interview, the Bloomberg interview with Emily Chang. I thought Emily Chang was a good interviewer. I thought she was poised. She really wanted answers. You could tell that Emily was prepared. Emily, for the most part, focused on the business side. Every once in a while, she would stick in questions, right, about the personal side, which I thought was fine, because if you're going to interview Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, of course you gotta get a couple of personal questions in, right? Okay. So I mean, I wasn't mad at that. I honestly, I wasn't mad at that. I thought it was great that they showcase Montecito. I love it. I love it when they do that. Okay, because it really gives us fans an insight into, are Harry and Meghan good in regards to where they live in the home environment, right? And are Archie and Lilibet good? Of course they're good. Of course we know that they're being very well taken care of, but it's good to see the type of community that they live in, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I thought it was great that they went to their restaurant and they had the burgers and the beer. I mean, it was great to see Meghan drinking beer, right? It was great. I thought it was awesome that she was eating hamburgers dressed in all white. I was like, wow, Meghan doesn't skip a beat, right? But back to the business side of the questions. Meghan is really invested in her business as ever. And what I mean by that is that you could tell that she's really doing her homework in regards to the business side of it. And you could tell, right, that she is all hands on deck. Okay. She's not just letting Netflix just do everything, right? We learned, even though Netflix is a partner and Netflix is the only partner, at the end of the day, Meghan has the final say so, right? You could tell Meghan is business savvy, that she is not only business savvy, but you can tell on a day-by-day basis that she is learning about the business, and she's learning how to grow her business, and she's learning what tools and what she needs to set in place to not only grow her business, but to meet the demand of her business. She's paying attention to the matrix of her business. She's paying attention to the scaling of her business, right? Netflix had to pull her in, right? Netflix had to pull her in regards to the numbers, because I love our girl. She's very humble, right? Meghan says she was good. She was good just selling some jam and some honey at the farmer's market. Girl. First of all, you can't be at no farmer's market, Meghan, selling stuff, okay? Because imagine the line Okay, at the farmer's market, they wouldn't be able to handle that crowd. Okay. So obviously, she went from that, right? Netflix got involved. She still was thinking small, right? She was thinking in the thousands, right? But when the numbers started to come in, they were like, whoa, okay. So now we got to scale this to 1 million, right? And what I loved about Meghan's answers, and by the way, she was so poised, right? She was very, very poised in this interview. But she's poised in the majority of her interviews. What I liked about it was that, you know, she said it. She said that selling out, it feels good, but that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to sell out within an hour, right? That's not good. I mean, it feels good. She did not say these words, but she was saying that selling out is not good. And one of the reasons it's not good is because it doesn't give you the numbers. If everything sells out in 44 minutes, right, you don't know exactly what the favorite goods are. It doesn't give you the information that you need to know in regards to what products sell more. Because, you know, you may have people who logged on there and they were like, damn, all the jam's gone. Damn, all the honey's gone. You know what? The freaking flower speakers are still here, so I'll just go ahead and get those. Right? You may have people who buy stuff that really didn't want to buy stuff, but they just wanted to, you know, have the experience of buying something because it was new. Right? So I love her business savviness. I love the fact that she's got her finger on the scale. I love the fact that she understands that selling out is not a good thing, right? I love the fact that who's ever surrounding her business-wise is very, very smart, is very, very savvy. We all know, I know that you know that I know that you know that I know that you know, squatties, right? That Melody Hobson is definitely giving the Duchess advice. Okay. Let me go ahead and look into the chat. Let's see. I see you guys talking away. Oh my goodness. Miss Sophie, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Love, love, love. Thank you so much. Miss Sophie says, thank you for your comment to our community. Great. She was drinking beer from a bottle. Authentic. Exactly, right? Let me go ahead and give you some love. Not to skip around, but Sophie brings up a really good point. All this talk about the naysayers of Meghan being unauthentic and this, that, and the other, I don't know what they want from our girl. I really don't. You know, number one, we're all multifaceted, right? We're all multifaceted. Okay. There's many different versions of us. Okay. I don't know what they want Meghan to do. What do they want her to be cussing? Do they want her to be fighting on TV? Do they want her to be ratchet, ghetto? I don't know what they want from her. This is an educated woman. Okay? This is a woman who was an ambassador. Right? This is a woman who has engaged with, met with, mingled with world leaders. Right? This is a woman that has volunteered and been invested in her community. Okay? This is a woman who was an actress, right? I don't get it. I really honestly don't get it. I don't know how they want her to be. When they say that she's unauthentic and she's fake, okay, then what is fake about her? I seriously, I don't get it. When is the real Meghan gonna come out? Well, dude, when is the real Kate Middleton gonna come out? Y'all don't know nothing about Kate Middleton. Okay, every time you see Kate Middleton in public, it's a persona. It's a fake smile and a wave. Y'all don't know jack about Kate Middleton. Okay? But y'all praise her and say that she's the best thing ever and she's going to put the monarchy on her back. Well, we all know that's not going to happen. Kate Middleton is in the fight of her life right now, hiding behind cancer that she's never had. Yeah, I said it and I'll say it again. She's hiding behind cancer that she never had. Okay? Yeah, you guys don't know the real Prince William. I mean, we get tidbits and pieces about him. I think the number one theme about him that keeps on coming out, even the Royal Rota continuously say that he's an angry man. He's in cancer with rage. Okay? And we've seen videos of him as a little boy being angry. You know, people see the video of him hitting his father in the head. So, you know. Anyway, so seriously, I don't know what they mean by she's, you know, when she does with the Meghan season two, or when she's out in the front of the camera, doing her lifestyle show. Here, let's take Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, after this. Martha Stewart. Okay, let's talk about Martha Stewart. Did Martha Stewart act angry in front of the camera? All them rumors about Martha Stewart, right? All those rumors about Martha Stewart being a bitch, being mean, scolding people, right? Bringing people to tears, right? Was Martha Stewart doing all that in front of the camera? Hell no. No, she wasn't. Okay. But back to what Miss Sophie was saying. I thought it was great. That was a great scene, seeing Meghan and Emily, you know, go to the local spot, have some hamburgers and drink beer. Right? That's one version of Meghan. Okay? The beginning of that interview, they met at the what was it called? Is it called the Godmothers? Right. Place where it's a library. Okay. Library full of children's books. I thought that was awesome. I thought that was great that they met there. Right. To see the pictures of all of the godmothers. Right. I noticed that they zoomed in on Michelle Obama. Okay. I don't know. I thought there was something behind that. But back to what I was saying. I don't know what they want from our girl. I really honestly don't. But back to the interview. I love the fact that Emily did bring up the naysayers, right? In regards to with love, Meghan. I was glad that Emily talked with Meghan about that. And, you know, Meghan gave the classic poise, but booyah in your face answer, right? Classic. Now that, her answer to that question went way more viral, in my opinion, than the comment about not liking wearing pantyhose. Okay. And I think that answer to that question, and for those of you who haven't seen it, which I know everybody in sexist land, what Black Queen Black Queen talking about Martha, washed up old hag Stewart. Why you talking about Martha like that, Black Queen? Martha is like in her early 80s. She is in her early 80s and she's still doing it, right? And I don't want to focus too much on Martha Stewart, but when Martha Stewart did her show with Snoop, right, you saw the comedic side in her. And even way before that, when she appeared on, I think it was Justin Bieber that was getting roasted, and she appeared on that, and she was funny. That is what sent Martha into the stratosphere, okay? Because people were like, whoa, Martha Stewart's funny? Martha Stewart actually has a personality? So that's what I mean. People are dimensional. And that's what our Duchess is. That's what the Duchess of Sussex is, right? There's different versions of her, and that's okay. There's different versions of me. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. But Meghan's answer to her naysayers and her critics, I thought it was a genius answer, right? And that went global, and I loved it, right? I mean, I saw headlines about that answer all over social media here in the United States. And her answer basically was that, yeah, there's naysayers. Yeah, there's negative voices out there. Yes, I'm aware of that. Yes, I'm aware of that. I'm aware that there's naysayers. I'm aware that there are negative voices out there. There are people who are doing videos making fun of me, in my show. I know, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it, right? But then some of those same people are probably going home making my, what is it, the one dish, my one pasta dish, one pot. I'm getting tongue-tied here, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. Those people are going home, making my recipes. And that's okay. The Duchess said that's okay, right? I loved it when she said that. And that's okay, right? They got an agenda. They got bills to pay. The Dutch. Woo! When she said that, y'all, I almost fell off the couch. The Duchess said the naysayers, the negative voices, I get it. And that's okay. Because, they got bills to pay. Woo! So she gets it. She gets that there's an ecosystem out there in regards to her. She gets it. She said, I pay your bills. We've been saying, Squatties, Success Squad, we've been saying that for years, right? Meghan pays their bills. Right? She called them out. Y'all want to say I'm a grifter, but y'all grifting off me. You guys are grifting off me. I'm paying your bills. I mean, yeah, it's at my expense. I get it, but you know what? Hey. Yes, at my expense, you're getting the likes and you're getting the clicks, right? But you're grifting off me. I pay your bills, bitch. I pay your bills. And it's not going to last forever. It's not. It just isn't. It's not, because I'm Meghan the Duchess of Sussex, bitch. Okay? and I'm pushing forward. Okay, I'm a businesswoman right now. I'm focused on business. I'm getting interviewed by Bloomberg. Okay. I don't need bitch. I don't need the Daily Mail. I don't need the Telegraph. I don't need the Sun. I don't need to be on those front pages to be a success. You do, but I don't. Yeah, it hurts. I'm pretty sure it hurts. You know, when those negative headlines are out there, especially when they target our children. But you know, Meghan is in. She's like, I got bigger things to do. I got bigger things to worry about. I got goals. Okay, Meghan is in her mood where she's like, I got goals. I'm bigger than this world shit. Okay, I got goals. I got things to do. I got a legacy to leave my children. Okay. So and we know she's right. And you know, they know that she's right. That's why they want to focus on the pantyhose comment. It's like somebody was saying, I can't remember what I was watching, but you know, there was some British hack complaining that, oh, I don't understand why she was complaining. You know, she had a job to do, and if wearing pantyhose was the uniform, then so be it. You know, all she does is complain, and you know, it was disrespectful to the Queen to say something like that. And I can't remember who it was, but this person said, number one, she didn't mention the Queen, and they were like, number two, she just said she didn't like it. She just said she didn't like wearing pantyhose. What's the big deal? That's all she said. So what are you getting so upset about? Chill. I forgot who that was. I can't remember. But I was just like, exactly. We all complain. I mean, when I was in the military, you think I liked wearing them green uniforms? Okay, I mean, I'm pretty sure people who work at McDonald's, you think they like wearing that uniform and them ugly hats? I mean, people are allowed to complain. It doesn't mean that you're dissing your boss or you're dissing the company. You just don't like the uniform. That's all. I mean, but anyway, I just loved. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Um, let's see what else about that interview. I mean, it really was a good interview, right? It really was. I loved it when Meghan said that, you know, when Emily brought up the headlines, Emily said she Googled her name and all these 1,000 headlines came up, and you know, Meghan said that, you know, they're not talking about me. The Duchess said they're not talking about me. Okay, it's a caricature of me. It's not me. It's some made up person. I don't know who that person is what she basically said, right? She said, but she did say that's not me. And I'm very clear in regards to who I am. And I thought, my God. My God. I mean, she was so clear. She was so precise in that answer, right? That's not me. I know the difference between the two. And I'm very clear on who I am. I loved it. That's why I thought this interview was so good. You know, she's very very poised, right? Wasn't angry, just made it clear. Made it clear. You know, it took. She said it. It took me a long time to get there. It took me a while to get there. Does it feel good hearing or reading untruths about myself? And it took me a while to get there. However, I know that that's not me that they're talking about, and I am very clear on who I am. And I'm not going to prove no more, nothing else in regards to who I am as a person. I get the game. I get the ecosystem. I get the likes. I understand it. The likes and the clicks. You guys have an agenda. It pays your bills. I pay your bills. I get it, right? But there is gonna come a point to where it's not gonna work anymore. Okay, because she's headed a different direction. Okay. Well, I shouldn't say a different direction. Meghan's been on this path for a while, right? She has been on this path. She's been on this business path for a while, right? But what I feel is going on with Meghan, and this is just my humble opinion, is that she is going to be purposeful in making sure that she does her best not to mention that family. That's the direction that she's going. And I believe, I could be wrong, I don't know, but these are my thoughts. Special K thoughts. These are my thoughts. I do believe that Meghan is probably more so going to avoid doing interviews with like the Vanity Fairs types. I think she's gonna, I don't think she's gonna do that anymore. I think Meghan is going to do interviews, more interviews with business focused media outlets. And for her, it's going to be all about as ever, and of course, the charity work. That's what I believe the direction that she's going. And I think if that is, I think that's awesome. I do. I think that's awesome. All right. Black Queen, thank you for the donation. Thank you, love. I really, really appreciate it. I appreciate all the support that you guys give, and the support motivates me and keeps me here, right? And what I mean by support, it's not just about the financial part, but it's about tuning in to these live podcasts. It's about going on my social media pages, you know, whether if it's on Instagram or if it's on X or even if it's on TikTok, right? I appreciate all the support that you guys give me. I'm still here, right? I'm still here. So thank you, because the main reason why I'm still here is because of you guys. So thank you so much. And thank you so much, Black Queen, for the donation. And Black Queen says, dragging Martha for her negative comments about Meg. Oh, she did. Martha said something negative about Meg? Typically, caucasity Karens acting like they invented and on everything, getting jelly because other folks are getting a piece of the pie. She lost me. I didn't know that. What did Martha say about Meg? Dang, last time I saw Martha, she had said something positive about Meg. She said that, I forgot, somebody asked her, somebody said to her, you know, Meghan Markle cited you as an influence, and Martha said, oh, that she was very flattered, and the best advice that she can give her is just to make sure that her product is good. So Martha must have gave another interview that I missed. Let me know. Let me know what Martha said about Meg. But like I was saying, I do feel that Meghan is definitely going more so the business route. Her interviews that she conducts more than likely will be just with business media outlets. She did the interview with the young British lady, Emma. I don't know her last name. The one that's in partnership with Kim Kardashian. In regards to Spanx. And now she's done this Bloomberg interview. I saw Meghan in a picture with the editor of Forbes. So might be something coming up with Forbes. So I think that's a good lane to be in. I do. I'm pretty sure there might be people in the business community who come after her, but how unprofessional is that going to look? What, you're going to bring up royal stuff? Like, really? Business people don't care about the royals. They care about money. Right? So, anyway. Is it Emma? What's her name? I'm telling you, these glasses do not work. Is it Grady? Grady? Emma Grady? Okay, let me look into the comments. Okay, hey, Marsha. Marshara says, Martha doesn't bother me. It's all about the game. Martha was coming up for her negative comment. Sharon S., how you doing, Sharon? Sharon S. says, correct, more business-focused interviews, which do not leave an opening for an inbreed family questions. Exactly, right? Because Emma, correct me if I'm wrong, but Emma didn't ask any questions about that family, not that I'm aware of. Okay, so Vera got the tea. Vera got the tea. So Vera says, Martha says she hoped that Meghan knows what she's doing, that Martha should go back to this hole she came from. Okay, so Martha must have went in some interview that I didn't see. And Martha said she hoped that Meghan knows what she is doing. Okay. All right. Okay. And she probably said it in a snarky way. All right. So the interview, what else did you guys like about that interview? I mean, those were the main things that I got out of that interview. I thought what Meghan had on was beautiful. Oh my God, that yellow, Jesus, right? What she had on was beautiful. And maintaining talking about the business lane that Meghan appears to be going into when it comes to these interviews. The naysayers really couldn't attack it. The only thing that the naysayers really focused in on was the comment about the pantyhose. And, we Americans don't care about that. I saw a lot of positivity about that interview. I think the only thing I didn't like about that interview was when the interview was over, had been over, right? And then I think a week later, Netflix had made the announcement about the deal. And so I guess Emily went back in there and added in the part about the deal and how some thought it was a downgrade and some thought, the deal was fine. And, she said that the deal was like the Obama's deal. But then she went back in there and I thought she gave some misinformation about With Love Meghan, when they said that it failed to break the top 300. Well, it's like, bitch, it was like 300 and whatever, 20 something out of 7,000 shows. Like, hello, do people not understand how huge that is? Like, seriously, people tend to forget With Love Meghan, it's a lifestyle show. How many lifestyle shows were in the top 300, bitch? Like, people, they have such high expectations of Meghan versus everybody else. I didn't see Martha Stewart's documentary in the top 300, bitch. Right? It's funny how I'm still talking about Martha Stewart, but Martha Stewart does have a documentary on Netflix. I bet you guys are like, I didn't know that. And it's actually pretty good. I watched it. And it's actually really good. I mean, I get, trust me, I get Martha recently said something negative about Meghan, but her documentary is good. I mean, Martha started off in her life as, she had some very humble beginnings, and, married, and she got married, and she had a lot of different phases in her life, which were, in my opinion, very, very interesting. But I didn't see Martha Stewart's documentary in the top 300, or the top 100, or the top 50, or the top 20, or the top 10. I didn't see no lifestyle variety shows in the top 1,000. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't like that part about the interview. They kind of, in my opinion, made it seem like that With Love of Meghan season 2 was not a success when it was a huge success. You know how much money Netflix made off of that? Like, seriously, I'm serious. Think about it. Do you understand the seriousness of this situation here when it comes to how much money Netflix made off of With Love Meghan season 2? The production of that show is not that expensive. It's expensive, right? But it's not as expensive as, say, a Tyler Perry Netflix movie, or a movie that Robert De Niro did, right? There's a movie on Netflix that Robert De Niro did, and it's really, really good. You know how much money Robert De Niro probably got paid to do that? Okay? It's the budget for With Love Meghan is not nearly as expensive. Bridgerton, my God. How much money do you think it costs to produce Bridgerton? How much do you think the budget was for Bridgerton? Okay. So the budget for With Love Meghan, trust me. Okay, they rented somebody else's house, right? The garden, this, that, and the other. The people that are coming on the show aren't getting paid. They're doing it for their own publicity, right? They're basically paying the production crew. What I'm saying is, when you compare the budgets of With Love Meghan to the budgets of these big time movies that are on Netflix, trust me, Netflix made some money off of With Love Meghan. But that was a part of that whole interview that I didn't like. They kind of did some underhanded, sneaky stuff, in my opinion, when they added that part in. It's just funny to me. Number one, let's get this clear. It was never verified that Harry and Meghan had $100 million contract from Netflix. That is laughable on its face. Why would Netflix offer Meghan and Harry, two people who are not producers, $100 million contract? Really? So we've never known how much the original Netflix deal was. Okay. But one thing I do guarantee you is that Netflix has made $100 million off of Harry and Meghan. Oh, absolutely. That Harry and Meghan documentary series? Absolutely. Netflix is going to milk that cow for years. That documentary series is not going nowhere. Okay. So Netflix done got their money off of Harry and Meghan. And then more. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and look into the comments. See if you guys have anything else in regards to the interview with Emily Chang. Again, I liked Emily. I did. I liked Emma. I thought Emma was great. Because those guys are about business. They're not about the drama. Okay. So I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the Duchess. Stay in your business lane, Meghan. Stay in your business lane, Duchess. Yes, yes. Stay in the business lane. Okay. Stay in the business lane. Let me go ahead and look into the comments. Let's see. I'm going up, 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 up. Hey, Mrs. Clutch. Mrs. Clutch Sussex. I like that username. Yes, Antoinette says that Emma wanted to know about the Meghan business aspect, and she did. She did. I saw Emma on Loose Women, and I mean, she nailed it, right? When they were coming at her, oh, Meghan doesn't make the jam. I got news for you. Meghan doesn't make the jam. No, she does not. Meghan does not wear the jam. She does, I mean, not wear. Meghan does not make her jam. She does not make the jam. It's a recipe and she puts her name on it. And Emma was like, yes, she does. And the lady was like, no, she doesn't. I got news for you. No, she doesn't. And Emma was like, well, it's not like I make the Spanx. That's what I'm saying about Meghan staying in her lane, getting interviewed by business people. Okay. Emma's like, well, why are you coming at me with this nonsense? Yes, she does. She makes it, she gives the recipe to somebody else, and they mass produce it. This is not rocket science. However, since you want to die on this hill, I got news for you. It's not like I'm at home sewing up Spanx. Okay, so Mrs. Clutch says it was Martha's second interview. Okay. The yellow outfit sold out. I should have known. And we're going to talk about, of course, we're going to talk about With Love Meghan season 2. Me, I don't see myself in anything yellow. I don't see myself in anything yellow. Hi, Paulette. How are you? Okay, so Marshall says, I like that Meghan briefly touched on what orange crab. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Marshall. I almost forgot about that. So Marshall says, I like that Meghan briefly touched on what orange crap that's going on in our country, especially what's going on in LA. She's letting us know her political stance. Right. Absolutely. Somebody was telling me that there's actually that you can actually listen to the podcast. That the podcast um, includes everything. I guess the YouTube version of that interview, some things were cut out, which is kind of shocking to me. I don't understand why. But somebody was telling me that the podcast, they didn't cut anything out. Um, uh, you guys know that I'm on X, and my account is on X. Oh, and by the way, those of you who are listening and in the chat, please hit the thumbs up. Please go ahead and hit the thumbs up. I noticed that there were some squatties that were saying that, that they were disappointed that Meghan didn't talk about the orange guy. Like, why would she do that? Those squatties can't be American. Well, my bang. There's no way that they live in this country. And I'm talking about the United States. I live in the United States, so it's obviously I'm American. There's no way a squatty who is American would say something like that. Even if you're a squatty, period, you wouldn't say something like that, in my opinion. I mean, we're a very diverse community. We're very diverse, and people are allowed to their opinions. But my God, seriously though, if you are a supporter and a fan of Meghan and Prince Harry, there's no way in the world you will fix your mouth to say something like that. That Meghan should have said something about the orange guy. Why? But anyway, we all know that during that interview, Meghan did talk about the unrest in LA. There's a lot of unrest going on in LA. When Emily brought up, the interview that she did when she was 11 years old, I loved it when Meghan said, when Meghan was watching the video, and I'm talking about the video where Meghan is 11. We all know the Dawn dishwashing soap commercial, right? Where Meghan writes the letter, and they change the commercial to everybody or people in America instead of just focusing on women having to wash dishes. We all know the story, right? And I loved it when Meghan said, when she was looking at her 11-year-old self, and she was like, and I still make that face. I loved it because that face that she makes at 11 years old, that is a sister girl face. Okay, that is a sister girl face all day long. Shout out to Queen Doria, by the way. Don't y'all just love Queen Doria? I mean, Queen Doria, Meghan's mom, she's just living her life. Right? Isn't she just living her life? She is not a media hoe. She's just living her life. Doesn't skip a beat. She's like, Meghan girl, yeah, I get that you don't marry the prince, but I'm not changing my life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm getting off subject here, but that's what I do. But, Queen Doria went through a lot when Meghan and Harry first started dating. She had to leave her own house because the press was just hounding her, Right? And didn't Queen Doria go stay with Oprah because the press was hounding her so much? And that's another thing, and I'm getting off subject here, but that's another thing that's a lie by the British press. Because I know one thing I notice about what's going on with the British press is that they realize they do not get enough engagement, clicks and likes when they talk about King Corrupt, Rottweiler, and Will Not and Cannot. They're seeing that, right? So what they're doing is they're regurgitating old stories about Harry and Meghan. Now, they want to focus on the marriage. Like, dude, that wedding was in 2018. We in 2025. Why is y'all still talking about the wedding? Right? There's another story that they churned out about Meghan breaking royal protocol. Really? Right? They're regurgitating old stuff. And of course they want to throw in her sperm donor. Right? But remember the story? Oh, okay, this is where I was going. This is where I was going when it comes to Queen Doria. Regurgitating old stories. The wedding. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here they go. Right? They won't let Betty rest in peace. Okay? They won't let Betty, Queen Elizabeth, rest in peace. There was a story that Queen Elizabeth was upset that Harry and Meghan invited all these celebrities to their wedding. And one of them, Royal Rhoda, said that, Meghan and Harry didn't even know Oprah. Oprah didn't even know Meghan. Well, that was not true. That was a lie. Okay? I don't know how many of you guys know, but Queen Doria and Oprah were basically going to the same church. When Queen Doria was getting harassed and hounded by the press while Harry and Meghan were married, Oprah let Queen Doria stay at her house. Now, I don't know if Queen Doria was actually staying in the house or in a guest house. More than likely, it was a guest house. Okay? So there was some connection between Doria and Oprah. It's just that Oprah hadn't really gotten next to Meghan until Meghan got married to Prince Harry. Okay? Oprah wanted to do an interview with Queen Doria, and Queen Doria was like, no, ma'am. However, we can do yoga together. I thought that was classic. I did. I thought that was classic. Like, no, I don't want to do an interview, no. But, we can do a yoga session together. But anyway, so shout out to Queen Doria. So, anyway, I lost my train of thought. Oh, man. So back to what I was saying about squatties getting upset. And some of the squatties got upset because they felt that Meghan did not really address the question about our felon president. Back to the commercial that I was talking about. Emily Chang brought up the whole Dawn dishwashing soap event, where Meghan wrote a letter and they changed the commercial. And then Meghan brought up that during that time, the LA riots were happening. Okay. So there was a lot of unrest in LA at that time when she was 11 years old. Fast forward to now, there's unrest going on in LA as we speak when it comes to immigration and when it comes to our felon president putting in the National Guard, federalizing the National Guard in California, in LA. So Meghan spoke about that. Emily asked Meghan, did she have anything to say that she's been wanting to say, right? And then of course, that was another thing that I didn't like. I guess there were some things about the interview I didn't like. I did not like it. To be honest, it pissed me off when they showed the video of Meghan talking about Trump back in 2016. She said that he was divisive, right? By the way, our girl, she seemed like she was proud to be on that show, right? So they basically showed what Meghan said about Trump back in 2016. Emily wanted to know, was there anything that Meghan wanted to say now that she's been dying to say? And Meghan was like, no, there's There's nothing that I want to say. No. I've said that all I wanted to say, and I haven't had anything else to say since basically 2016. And, you had some squatties, some people in the fandom who felt that Meghan should have said something about the felon president. Back to what I was saying. Ain't no way in the world them squatties are American. Ain't no way. Ain't no way them squatties live here in the United States. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. It is hot out here in these streets. I'm serious. It is hot out here in these streets. This country, we are in trouble. Okay? As a veteran, as an American, I am scared for this country. I am so serious when I say that. Okay? You got people who are being snatched up off the street. You got ICE agents, quote unquote ICE agents, who are masked up, literally snatching people off the streets, hanging out at Home Depot, snatching people off the streets, going into churches, snatching people out of church, going into schools, my God, going into schools and taking school children out of school. Okay? This is a dangerous place. And some of those people are Americans. And they don't care. They're still putting them in ICE detention centers. They don't care. Some of those people that they've snatched up off these streets are veterans. They don't care. They can care less. They're going after anything brown. Don't be at your local Walmart speaking Spanish, because they're going to snatch your ass up. They're going to snatch your ass up and ask questions later. That's the type of environment we're living in. You've got people who are politicians, they're local politicians, okay? Somebody knocking on their door dressed as a police officer. They open the door and they're shot dead in their own house. Okay, you got people who are local state representatives who are getting killed by their fellow American citizen, all because they disagree with their political views. It is hot in this country. I don't think you guys understand. Somebody who would fix their mouth to post something like that on Facebook or X to say that they're disappointed in Meghan. They don't understand why Meghan isn't speaking out. Ignorance. Your ignorance. It's pure ignorance and selfishness. Okay. Meghan is not here to make you feel good, to voice an opinion to make you feel good. Okay. She's not. And, some people say, well, she didn't say anything because, Trump made deport Prince Harry. Trump is not. Trump was never going to deport Prince Harry. Okay? He was never going to do that. Don't get me wrong. I love Prince Harry with all my heart, but God darn it. The shade of his skin is a shield. Prince Harry's skin tone, and I'm sorry, but the fact that he is a born prince, he will forever be okay. He will forever be all right. And please don't take what I'm saying the wrong way, because Prince Harry has fell on his sword so many times to protect his biracial American wife and her Black American mother. Okay, but at the end of the day, Prince Harry will be all right. Okay, he will. He's a born European prince. Trump was never going to deport Prince Harry. You gotta listen to the verbiage of Trump. Okay? Ain't nobody out here in America was asking Trump that dumbass question, are you going to deport Prince Harry if he lied to come into the country? Ain't nobody. All these interviews that Trump has done here in America, not one of them ever asked him about deporting Prince Harry. Not one of those interviewers with an American accent did. All that foolishness was coming from Britain. All of it. Okay? And that dumbass American attorney who took the case up, he just did that shit because it just probably just got to the point to where he really had no choice. The Heritage Foundation got bamboozled by that weasel, what's his name? Neil Gardner, who pushed him into filing that lawsuit. I guarantee you that who's ever on the board of the people who are on the board of the Heritage Foundation, I guarantee you those people are pissed the fuck off because they spent all that money for what? For what? So anyway, Trump was never going to deport Prince Harry. Okay. Trump's fire was always for Meghan, in my opinion. If he had anything negative to say, it was about Meghan. With Prince Harry, he would say things like, that he was very disrespectful towards the Queen, and if I was him, I'll cut him off. That's basically what he said, but his fire was for Meghan. Okay. But like I was saying, if you really pay attention to the verbiage of Trump when he was asked by some British twat, are you going to deport Prince Harry? And he would say, if he lied, well then, yeah, that's something that we would look into. If he lied. It was Trump's administration that stamped approved Prince Harry coming over here. Okay? So anyway, for those squatties who voiced their opinion, saying their disappointment in Meghan not being more vocal or being more political when she was asked that question, I absolutely disagree. And I really feel you guys don't know what the hell you're talking about. I really honestly don't. She did speak about the political climate. Okay? And she was on point when she talked about the unrest that's going on here in these United States of America when it comes to the immigration issues, which actually is a small piece of it. I mean, there's a lot going on in this country. You got people who are being shot down, who are being killed for having different political views. You've got people who are losing their jobs because of different political views. You've got the tariff situation because of that idiot. You know what I'm saying? This idiot done declared financial war on our neighbors, Canada, which makes absolutely no sense. This country is in my opinion a shithole country. Yeah, I said it. This is a shithole country right now in regards to the political unrest that's going on. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, she gave the perfect answer. No, I have nothing else to say. No. Don't people understand that we on break? We on break. Okay? And I'm not just talking about Black American women. I'm just talking about everybody who voted for Vice President Kamala Harris. We on break right now. we on break. Because we didn't vote for that guy. We told y'all. We told y'all if you vote for that guy what was going to happen. But now, I'm voting for Kamala Harris. I'm voting for Kamala Harris because of the border. Because of the border. Oh, I'm voting for Kamala Harris because... I'm sorry. My bad. I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. I'm voting for Trump. I'm voting for Trump because of the border. I'm not voting for Kamala Harris because of Gaza. Because of Gaza. I'm not going to vote for Trump either. I'm just not going to vote. Well, your non-vote was the vote for Trump, sweetie. And what is going on in Gaza right now as we speak? Here's another one. I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. She's not getting my vote. She's not Black. She's not Black. She doesn't understand Black issues. She's Indian. She's not Black. She's Jamaican. She's not Black. Her husband's Jewish. I'm not voting for her. Black American men. I'm voting for Trump. I don't want no woman in the White House. Black American men. I don't want that bitch in the White House. Black American men. So for not just the Black American women, the 92% that voted for Vice President Kamala Harris, not only are we on break, but everybody who voted for Vice President Kamala Harris are on break. Because we're like, shit, how could y'all not see this coming? Like, seriously, how could you not see this coming? You know, and then you hear people say, well, how can you be on break when this country is headed towards fascism? Girl, please. My mother, my father, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my great-great-grandparents, and those before them lived and survived in way worse circumstances than this. Okay? So there you go. All right, so yeah, I saw it. And I saw it in regards to some, I guess, squaddies who wanted Meghan to say more politically. She was very smart not to say anything about that felon president. Because if she had, that would have been the headline here in America. That would have been the headline here in America. And she would have been a target again. I can see Meghan Kelly now. I can see Meghan McCain now. Why give those guys food to eat? Right? Why give those guys food to eat? You know? And look what ended up happening. They had nothing to say. Right? They had nothing to say. So I thought that was a good move that Meghan did. All right, let me go back in the comments. Yep. Hey, Boney Money. Boney Money says Trump don't like Black people. That's why he always gun for Meghan. I don't think he liked Black people, period. I think the reason why Trump guns for Meghan is because of what she said about him. He liked her before, but then when Piggy Morgan showed him the video of what she said, that he was divisive, then his whole attitude changed towards her. He was like, oh, I didn't know she was nasty. Yep. Like Antoinette says, Prince Harry got his paperwork approved through the first Orange Menace term, but Harry's idiot father, brother are trying to put a bug in the Orange Menace ear. It's going to be interesting to see how this state visit goes. Well, no, actually, the felon president is going to the UK. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes, to see if there's any mention of those two. I hope there isn't. You know, I really do hope there isn't. I hope that they really focus on the business side, the purpose of why the felon president is going to the UK. I mean, I don't understand the politics of the UK praising President Trump. I really honestly don't, because that man has put a tariff on y'all. I don't get it. I don't get it. He said the other day, you know, well, you know, I don't, there's some things that I don't like that the UK is doing, and, you know, we'll talk about it, but, you know, the tariffs stay in place. And, you know, the United States and the UK, we really don't have a huge trade. There's not that much that we trade with the UK. Our biggest trading partner is Canada and Mexico. All right. Yeah. C-Max says those squatties are the same people, the election that put Palestine over American citizens and wanted him to speak on that. Yep. Yeah. Remember all that drama with Archwell Foundation? I'm not going to get into that. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Marshall is basically saying that the orange guy gives the British media sound bites. All right. We're going to go ahead and move on and get into With Love, Meghan Season 2. I'm going to start off from the jump and just say that I loved With Love, Meghan Season 1. I did. But I feel like With Love, Meghan Season 2 is better. And the reasons why I feel that it's better is because to me, Meghan seems a little more comfortable in her own skin in front of the camera. Meghan is laughing a lot more. She's joking around a lot more. And she's laughing at herself, guys. She's actually laughing at herself. I felt that the guests on the show were awesome. I loved everybody. I loved every guest that was on that show, like literally. And all of the guests seemed like that they were having a good time. Didn't you feel that? That's the way I felt. Right? I felt that all of the guests felt like that they had a good time, that that you know, I thought the engagement and the chemistry between Meghan and her guests was really good, and it was genuine, and it just like a good time, right? It just felt like a good time. I was very happy to see Daniel Martin back on the show. I thought that was great. I thought that was great to see him. Obviously, he's a ride or die, right? He's a ride or die friend. I love, oh my goodness, California squatties. The way they showcase California, the Santa Barbara area, Montecito, uh, the scene where she goes to, I guess it was the wine distillery, and her and the guy are in the great vineyards. Oh God, that was beautiful. Made me miss home. You know, when her and the what is it, the 3-star chef? Who's it, Claire Smith? When they went to the seafood place, or the fish market, I should say. I thought that was great. She really showcases California in such a beautiful way. And the scenes of the beach, that's what I grew up in. Well, I'm lying. I didn't grow up. I didn't grow up in Santa Barbara. I grew up in Central California. The scene of the great vineyards is what reminded me of home. Okay, because where I lived, there were great vineyards and orange orchards and peach orchards and things of that nature, tomatoes and stuff like that. Because I grew up in Central California, close to the, I guess you would say, Sacramento. I grew up in wine country. I grew up in, I don't know how many of you guys have ever heard of it, but I grew up in Modesto, California. 209. Lacey Peters. I actually knew Lacey. But I grew up in that area. But I have a lot of family that stays in Southern California. So anyway. But I loved With Love Meghan season 2. I didn't binge watch it. I actually took my time, watched a couple of episodes, then the next day watch a couple of episodes, the next day watch a couple of episodes. And I finally finished watching all of the episodes. Meghan, you could tell she's happy. Okay. Jesus. I mean, she was flawless, right? Her beauty was just coming through the screen, right? Is it me, or did you see her freckles more? Were you able to see her freckles a lot more in this season? What do you guys think in the chat? Hey, H Night. Her hair was a lot more wavy, right? I would just love to see Meghan just bam come out with her hair 100% in its natural state. We want to see what Prince Harry sees in the morning. Because he loves it, right? He sees it. So we want to see that, Meghan. Come on, Meghan, we want to see your hair in its full natural state. But I noticed during this season, her hair there were different versions of her hair being more so in its natural state. It was more wavy, this, that, and the other. You didn't really see the straight, right, hair. You saw the wavy hair, and I loved it. She just had that glow to me. I mean, like her arms, the face, like, is it me? That's what damn. I was like, she is beautiful. She's really a beautiful woman. The guest. Again, I loved every guest that was on there. The first show, I hope everybody has seen it. All you squatties who are in the chat, those of you who are listening, I hope y'all watched all 8 episodes, because if you haven't, then you might as well log off, because I'm about to talk about them. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I'm going to talk about the majority of them. Let's see. The first episode. I thought the first episode, I loved it. because it just seemed like everybody was everywhere. Right? You know, I can't remember their names, but one of the chefs was Japanese. The other young lady obviously was American. I think that that young lady did pastry because she was the one that had done the s'mores. And the Japanese chef, I mean, he had done the. I'm gonna try that. I am going to try that. The he put the flannel steak. What did he marinate the flannel steak in? Oh my god, I forgot. I can't remember, but I'm gonna try that. Oh Jesus, I'm gonna try that. Um, if you remember in the chat what the Japanese chef marinated the flannel steak in, put it in the chat, please. Yes, I would love to see Meghan in braids too. I would. Um, but like those guys were all over the place. Of course, you know they put Daniel to work, but another reason why I loved with Love Meghan season 2 is because you definitely saw more of Meghan's fun girl personality. Like the fun girl that we know, the fun girl that we're used to seeing, right? Like we saw it. Like, remember in the first episode when they all did the flower ranging? And and the Japanese chef was like, of course Meghan won. And he showed her flower arrangement and it was extra. Like I love it. I loved it. I loved it. And then later on when they went back in the house and Meghan was like, oh, by the way, I went back in there. I went back outside and rearranged my flowers. And they all busted out laughing. I mean, it was little tidbits like that that happened that I just thought were just wonderful. I mean, I saw it and it made me laugh out loud. And to me, that's kind of what was missing in the first season. What I liked about this season is, don't get me wrong, I love it when Meghan's friends come out and when they support her. You know, because that's what friends are for. That's what friends do, right? I just felt with the first episode, with the first season of With Love Meghan, too many of her friends were on there. And I thought some of her friends just seemed to be uncomfortable in front of the camera, which led to the engagement between Meghan and some of her friends seeming a bit off. Okay. Now that did not happen when Nacho's wife was on there. Okay. The engagement and the chemistry between Nacho's wife and Meghan was on point, right? But I just felt with some of her other friends, the chemistry seemed a little off because I felt that maybe that friend really didn't feel comfortable in front of a camera. But I like the fact that with Love Meghan season 2 that there were less of her friends featured. I like the fact that there were more celebrities featured. Celebrities know how to work in front of a camera, you know. But back to the first episode, I thought it was great. And then especially when they were doing the s'mores, they seriously like they're having a good time. Okay. The episode with Chrissy Teigen, in my opinion, it was a good episode, but to me, it's the weakest episode. That's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but to me, it was the weakest episode. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was awkward that Chrissy did not know her kids' birthdays. I thought that was awkward. Like, how you do what? Girl, what? Anyway, you know, Meghan tried to brush it off. Meghan tried to, you know, but but I thought them making the jewelry was pretty cool. Let's see. The episode with the chef that made the salad. I don't know how to say her name. I want to say, is it Samin? I think that was the third episode. Let me see. Oh, my computer went dead. Ah! I want to say her name is Salmon or Salmon. It can't be Salmon. She spells it Samin. Yes, Lydia says Salmon was great. I thought that episode was great. I did. Meghan. Oh, another thing I liked about this episode, Meghan made a lot of references to her family. She talked a lot about her mom. Okay. She talked about her grandmother, Jeanette Raglan. Okay. I thought that was great. I thought maybe Queen Doria was going to pop out, but they did say that there were no family members featured on the show. But Meghan made a lot of references to her mom. Okay. The apple butter with the chef, Samin. I hope I'm saying her name right. Meghan made the apple butter, right? And you could tell it was good. You could tell it was good because the chef ate it and she was like, this is good. I'm going to try the apple. I am going to try Queen Jeanette Raglan's apple butter recipe. I'm going to try it. Okay, I'm going to try it. Because it didn't look complicated. I thought that episode was good. The chemistry between those two was good. Okay. And then towards the end, when Meghan busted out the bubbly and put the sorbet in it, and they were moving to the music, I got a feeling when the camera stopped rolling, them two was still drinking. I think those two got faded. I do. I think they got faded. And if you go on the ad, Meghan put out an email. Well, I shouldn't say Meghan. As ever, send everybody an email featuring the recipe to that salad and how you can use the orange marmalade in that salad recipe. I'm gonna try it. I don't think it's that complicated. I hope it's not that complicated. I thought that episode was good though. Let's see. Of course, we're going to talk about Tan Fran, but let's talk about the episode with the British chef. Okay, Claire Smith. We learned some new information about the wedding, right? And in that episode, I thought Meghan was funny. She was cracking jokes and stuff in the beginning, right? That chef was serious. Claire was serious. But she said that she liked tranquility in her kitchen while she's cooking. But we got tidbits about the wedding, right? And I love the fact that Meghan and Claire Smith, she is a 3-star. I forgot what Meghan said, that she was the first female 3-star chef. But I love the fact that Claire and Meghan have maintained contact and they've developed a friendship. That is a lot. And I love the fact that Meghan acknowledged that. That is a lot for somebody to drive 12 hours to come on somebody's show. That's a lot. Claire did it because she wanted to do it. I'm pretty sure Claire has a lot of stuff on her plate. You know what I mean? But she wanted to be on the show. So, I mean, that speaks volumes. It really, really does. It speaks volumes. And my God, that halibut, oh man. I was watching that halibut, the way they were making it, and my mouth was watering. I was like, oh my God, that tastes good. And how about the buns that they made? Oh my God, those buns look so good. But I thought that was a good episode. To be honest, I loved all the episodes. I really did. The episode with Jay Shetty and his wife. You talk about beautiful people. Everybody in that episode was beautiful, right? Just beautifulness everywhere. Everybody beautiful, everybody. But I thought that episode was great. Again, the chemistry, right? Again, the chemistry. I think a lot of the reason why, another reason why I should say that With Love season 2 was better. I think Meghan just knew her way better around the kitchen the second time around, right? She just knew her way more so around the kitchen than she did with the first season, which makes sense. But again, the episode with Jay Shetty, the Indian podcaster. I've never listened to none of his podcasts. I heard that they're very, very good, that they're very, very healing. I've never listened to them. But I heard that his following is massive. Somebody was telling me that he has like 17 million followers or something like that. So, but I thought that was a great episode. Let's see. Continuing on. Showcase in California. I thought the episode with Meghan and her friend Heather, I thought that was a good episode. I thought the mixologist, another example of Meghan laughing at herself, right? The mixologist, he was mixing the martini, and Meghan asked him, well, how did you get into this? And he said that initially he was an attorney or a lawyer, and Meghan was like, oh, have you ever watched Suits? And he was like, no. He was like, I don't watch cable. That was so funny. Meghan busted out laughing and was looking at him. But he said the reason why he doesn't watch cable, he likes to watch TV shows that have a lot of cussing in them or something he was saying. But anyway, again, she was laughing at herself, right? Like, okay. Her friend Heather, she's the yoga she's the yoga instructor. There's a certain calmness about her. Her zenness comes all through the screen, right? So we're gonna talk about probably my favorite episode, Tan Fran. Oh my God! Now I've always been a huge fan of Tan Fran, right? I just love him. I love the way he dresses. I love his gray hair. I love his personality. So I've watched his shows. So I was too happy when I found out he was going to be on With Love Meghan. My God. And another thing too, I loved it when Meghan let us know that this is the first time that she's meeting these people, right? Back to Tan Fran. My God, the chemistry between those two. You can literally watch it develop as that episode went on. I love the way that they connected in regards to their children. That was beautiful. It was beautiful to see those two connect and talk about their children. They connected via talking about their children. When Meghan mentioned that the furthest that she was away from her children was 3 weeks, and she said that she was not well, that touched me, because I remember that time, and when that was happening, when she and Harry were away from their children because of the series of events that had happened, I remember during that time thinking, my God, here they are slamming her in the press, not acknowledging the fact that this is a mother that is away from her young children who are both underneath the age of 3 or 3 and under, right? I think at that time Archie was 3 and Lilibet was a year old. And nobody's giving her grace for that. I mean, nobody's giving her no type of grace for that. All they're doing is slamming her, saying that she wants all the attention. Nobody acknowledged the fact that here is a mother who was away from her two young children. But I remember thinking that when that was going on, and when she mentioned that, and when you saw her face to me seemed like it turned darker, and she put her head down. You could tell that she wasn't well. But back to Tan Fran. The way those two connected, he was funny, she was funny, and my God, it was a viral moment, right, guys? Wasn't that a viral moment when, Tan, he cooks the French toast. They played it. And, he's sitting back, he's laid back like, yeah, we're done. We're about to eat these delicious French toast that I just made. And what does Meghan do? Takes out the flour, sprinkles them on his beautiful French toast. And Tan pulls no punches, right? Tan's like, oh, what is that you just sprinkled on that? And Meghan is like, flour sprinkles. I just love them. And he's like, girl, that is the gayest shit I've ever seen in my life. And what does Meghan do? She busts out laughing at herself, right? That was a viral moment, okay? Another viral moment that almost brought a tear to my eye is when Meghan gave Tan the Indian spice box. Now, there is an Indian name for it, but I don't know. But in spice box, he was genuinely moved by that. He really was. He was so touched by that. How thoughtful is Meghan? That is a thoughtful person. I love the fact that she mentioned that she had bought it in North Carolina. I was like, damn, Meghan was in North Carolina. She wasn't too far from me. But, she bought it, and she just felt in her heart that there was going to be an occasion was going to happen to where the perfect occasion would present itself to where she would give that person the Indian spice box. One thing about Meghan, she's definitely into South Asian culture, right? She definitely is. She's definitely into the Indian culture. And which brings my heart joy because, like I've told you guys before, I've done the DNA, and the results were that I'm like almost 10% South Asian. Big old bullseye, Sri Lanka. I must go see my people. But anyway, that scene with Tan France, and then when they made the apple pies together, or what I mean, like the McDonald's, when they talked about McDonald's, Meghan talked about how when she finished auditioning, she would go to McDonald's and get the apple pie, and they made those, and Tan told her to put some spice in it, and she did. And the scene where they walk out to the beach, oh God, that was just so beautiful, right? And that I think that might be my favorite episode, guys. I don't know. The episode with Chef Jose Andreas, outstanding. The chemistry between those two, that those two are friends. That those two hang out. That those two look out for each other. Meghan talked about how she was concerned about his safety. I mean, Chef Jose Andreas, World Central Kitchen. Those guys are in the thick of it. They're in danger. They feed people who are in danger. Whether if it's a natural disaster or whether if it's war or some type of conflict, they go out there and they feed the people. There have been volunteers who work for World Central Kitchen who have been killed. Okay, who have been killed. I mean, that's sad. So when Meghan said that, they do worry about his safety, I was feeling her when she said that. But Chef Jose Andreas, he came out there with an agenda. Baby, he came out there with an agenda. He was like, you know what? If I'm gonna have to cook for all these people, Meghan's With Love Meghan season 2, the whole crew. Hey, I'm gonna have fun doing it, right? He came in there with an agenda. I'm gonna cook, but I'm gonna drink too, and I loved it. I loved it. And again, you saw more of Meghan's fun girl personality. At the end of the day, I felt if the guests were fun and chill, and engaging, Meghan matched that. Right. Meghan matched that. I love the fact that they fed the crew and we saw the crew. A lot of women work on the set, which I thought was great. It was good to see a lot of those female voices. It was good to see, people from different backgrounds. That crew is a diverse crew, right? I saw a lot of sisters. Saw a lot of sisters on that crew. So just overall, I thought With Love Meghan season 2 was outstanding. I thought it was great. And congratulations to Meghan. She really should be proud. She should be proud of With Love Meghan season 1. But With Love Meghan season 2 stepped it up a notch. It did. It really did. It stepped it up a notch. Speaking of Showcase in California, how awesome was it to see Meghan go out to the dock and meet with the young lady that catches sea urchins and, distributes them? I'm pretty sure it's a sea urchin distribution business. How awesome was that to see that? Right? Meghan got on the boat. The young lady showed her how to open the sea urchin. And I thought that was a great scene. And not only did it showcase California, not only did it, showcase the young lady, but it promoted her business, right? It promoted her business. I mean, that's awesome. That's wonderful. Again, I thought that they definitely brought it to another level with season 2, and which is awesome because it's my understanding they basically shot season 2 the same time that they shot season 1, which I guess they save money doing that. But to me, it just goes to show while they were shooting season 1, they definitely were planning how to do things different for the next 8 episodes, which was great. Again, kudos, congratulations. With Love Meghan season 2 was awesome. Again, I love the fact that she talked about her mom, made references to her mom, her grandmother. I loved it when she talked about her mom being the troop leader. Her mom there was something about carrots, right? She mentioned her mom in regards to the carrots that her mom liked. She talked about her kids. She talked about her kids more. She talked about Harry, which I thought was awesome. I loved it. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and go into the comments and see what you guys thought about With Love Meghan season 2. See if you guys talk about it. Hello, Jennifer. So Jennifer says Meghan can be the spokesperson for the state of California. I mean, she really showcases California um, in this season, and I think it's wonderful. And I'm pretty sure people who live in California who have watched the show appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Okay, so Marshar says the beach scene was beautiful and great tourism advertising for California. There you go, bingo. That was my favorite episode for With Love, Meghan season 2, and the one with Delphine in With Love, Meghan season 1. Yeah, Nacho's wife, Delphine. The chemistry between those two was beautiful to watch on screen, right? And you could tell Delphine is a true friend, right? You could tell. And you could tell that they have a lot of fun together. Again, Meghan matches whatever that person's personality is. Meghan matches you're crazy. If you're drinking, dancing, having a good time, telling jokes, Meghan is going to match that. Okay, so Veronica says her favorite episode was the one with Jose Andreas. And that's a lot of people's favorite episode. I feel like, I don't know, man. I go back and forth. Like, honestly, I go back and forth because then it's like, I really thought the episode with Chef, and I hope I'm saying her name right. Is it Salmon? I thought that episode was good. The episode where Meghan made the apple butter and the chef, I want to say Salmon, loved it. And I just thought that chef was I thought she was fun and engaging and personable as well. Meghan's whole South Asian crew was on point. All the South Asian guests were on point. I don't know what Chef Salmon's ethnic background is. I'm not too sure. But Jay Shetty and his wife, Tan Fran, they were all on point. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which one my favorite episode was at this point. I should say at this point. I don't know. For me, it's neck and neck between Tan Fran and Chef Jose Andreas. Yeah. But I enjoyed the episode with Claire Smith because she was different. She was British. It was good to see. It was nice to see a British chef on the show, and her mannerisms and personality, and she just brought a certain tranquility to it. But yet she was making like gourmet dishes. Because I'm telling you, that halibut dish, easily, what would you say? How much, like if you went to the restaurant, how much do you think Chef Claire Smith's halibut dish would cost you? Right? Like seriously though. But I enjoy, and then the rolls that she made. God, those rolls look so good, and the chips that Meghan made for her, right? That was a really good episode. And then the bag that Meghan made that was just so thoughtful for Chef Claire, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't know what my favorite episode is. I don't know. I'm looking in the chat, and some people y'all all over the place. I see some Chef Jose Andreas. I see some Tan Fran. A lot of people love the beach scene. Let's see. Oh, is it? Hey, Sharon. Sharon Chung says With Love Meghan is in the top 10 in the US. Is it? Um, Speaking of ratings, I know that it's hit top 10 in certain areas. Um, I keep on seeing over and over again that top 10 is Sri Lanka, which makes sense. I mean, the South Asian presence on that show is strong now. It's deep. It's deep, right? The South Asian presence on With Love Meghan is deep. I don't know if it's hit top 10 here in the United States. Somebody in the chat says it has. If it has, great. Wonderful. But our expectations shouldn't be that. At the end of the day, it's a lifestyle show. It's a blessing for her to be in the top 10. Seriously. Lifestyle shows, cooking shows, baking shows don't hit the top 10. They just don't. Okay? With Love Meghan is up against some serious competition right now. Okay? Right now, here in the United States, it's the 20th anniversary of Katrina. Okay? And I know there's a documentary show on Netflix right now. I think it's directed by Spike Lee. I wouldn't be surprised if that's number one. Okay? Like, Katrina is serious for us. Okay? I think I was still in the military when Katrina hit. And I mean, that's an historical event. And this weekend is the anniversary of Katrina, the 20th anniversary of Katrina. I know Netflix has a documentary series on about that. Wednesday, the movie Wednesday is back, or I should say the series Wednesday is back. A lot of Americans love that, right? So she's up against some competition, some serious competition. I noticed that the wrestling series Raw is on Netflix, and that's constantly in the top 10. And then there's something else on, I want to say Hostages. A lot of Americans love watching that, but there's another documentary series on that we Americans are in tune to watching it big time because we talk about it at work, and it's The Biggest Loser. I don't know how many of you guys in the chat or who's listening have watched that, but I know where I work at, everybody's talking about that. Everybody's talking about that. The Biggest Loser documentary series that's on Netflix. I've watched a couple of episodes, and my God, what they put those people through was criminal. Like, for real, it was criminal. And but it's good. It's good. So With Love Meghan, it's up against a lot of competition. I just wish people would compare it to other lifestyle shows and other cooking, baking shows, because that's really what With Love Meghan's competition is. Okay, that's really what her competition is. Her making top 10, that's a beautiful thing. I mean, that's an awesome thing. That's not easy to do. Okay, trust me, there are people who love Meghan who aren't watching her show because they're not into that. They're not into cooking, and they're not into arts and crafts and stuff like that. Okay. Oops. All right. So, and that's what I mean by Netflix is making money off of it. Netflix is making a whole bunch of money off With Love Meghan because the budget is not that big. It just isn't. Okay, they're in the same house, same garden. They're not paying nobody to come on that show, right? They're only paying for the crew and, of course, the production of it. So they making what my grandmother would say pennies off that show. What What was I gonna say? Seemed like there was something else I was gonna say. If there is a With Love Meghan season 3, um, that would be awesome. That would be great. Uh, Hopefully they would switch it up a little bit, right? I would love to see Meghan like travel, right? I would love to see her like go to different states and cook with different chefs in their, in their state. Somebody was bringing up that it would be great to see her feature a Nigerian chef. Wouldn't that be awesome? That would be great. Um, you know, but I'm pretty sure whatever she does, if there's a With Love Meghan season 3, it'll be awesome. It will truly be awesome. All right, let me go ahead and go into the chat. Hey Joan, how are you? Let me go ahead and go into the chat real quick before we talk about As Ever, and then I'm gonna let you guys go. Yeah, I haven't watched the documentary series on Katrina. I'm gonna watch it today. Tomorrow's a holiday, so I'm gonna watch it today. I heard it's hard to watch, so I'm gonna have to get my Zen. Maybe have a couple of glasses of that Napa Valley rosé. Shoot, I could finish a whole bottle today because I ain't gotta work tomorrow. My grandma would say, "Special K Pounds, it's the Lord's Day," and I'd say, "Grandma, Jesus turned water into wine." Ah! All right. So Miss Lydia says it's too hard to pick one. It is, because I go back and forth on my favorite episode. It's like I go back to Jay Shetty and his beautiful wife. I thought that was a nice episode. And the soap that they made. And the dish that his wife made, that looked good. Jay Shetty looked like he was out of his element though. Because he couldn't roll the dough. I thought that was funny as hell. You can tell he don't cook. Oh my God. Oh, that was funny. Jay was struggling. Jay was struggling with rolling that dough. But see, that's what made With Love Meghan season really good. Because of moments like that, he was just looking like, I don't even know what I'm doing. And his wife was kind of shading him. I thought that was great. I really did. Sharon says she done watched it 4 times already. I love that she fed her crew good quality food, no burgers and hot dogs. Amen, Sharon. I'm sorry. Amen, Veronica. Her crew got the 4-star treatment when it came to gourmet, right? Right? I mean, Chef Jose Andreas was not playing. I mean, they got the good food. They got the 4-star gourmet treatment there, honey. Chef Andreas, he was a little faded, wasn't he? He said, "Oh, I hope we don't burn the rice." And Meghan was looking like, "Oh," I thought that was funny. Okay, Reba. Hey, Reba. Reba says season 2 was wonderful. I enjoyed it so much. So much fun. So true. Okay, so let's talk about eating sea urchins. I see a lot of conversation among squatties, even among non-squatties, just general people, from the general public talking about eating sea urchins. I've never ate a sea urchin. When I looked at it, the inside, you know what it reminded me of? You guys know that you guys know my story. I was raised in California, but I'm from the Low Country. I'm from the Low Country of South Carolina. It's where I live. Our culture is to eat blue crabs, and the female group blue crabs, I noticed a similarity. The yellow stuff that was in the sea urchin, you'll see that in the female blue crab. And not everybody, but some people eat that. They mix it up, put a little bit of seasoning, and they eat it. I heard in the sea urchin that yellow stuff tastes like butter. That's what I heard. I heard it tastes like butter. Um, did Meghan eat it? I can't remember if she ate some of it or not. I can't remember. I just know Chef Andreas was he was tearing it up. Marshar says that now eating sea urchins fresh out of the water after scraping the guts out would be a hard one for me. But see, that's the thing. I know out here in the low country, there's nothing like eating fish or crab straight out the creek. Jesus. That's some good eating. Like, for real. Oh, Jesus, that's some good eating. It's the same thing in California as well. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing in Hawaii. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing in Maine. You know what I mean? Any coastal areas, when you go fishing and, crab and shrimping or whatever, and you take it straight out the creek or straight out the ocean and eat it. Ooh, some of that stuff is some really good eating. All right. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I had totally forgot about that. Not to bring too much negativity back, but I totally forgot that a lot of when Chef Andreas, I guess he took a picture with Will Not. I'm not too sure. And the British press was saying, "Oh, Harry and Meghan lost their friend Chef Jose Andreas to Will Not." Yeah, okay. C-Mac, hi C-Mac, says it was the rainbow was too gay for me. Yeah, the rainbow sprinkles. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. Not the rainbow sprinkles. You're talking about when Meghan and Tan were decorating the aprons, and Meghan suggested to do a rainbow, and Tan was like, "Nah, that's too gay." Again, viral moment. That's see. Now I'm back to that was my favorite episode, right? I don't know what's my favorite episode. But yeah, that was funny. He was like, "Nah, that's too gay." Megan's like, "How about we put a rainbow?" And he's like, "No, that's too gay." No. Oh. All right, let's see. Let me get my wig straight here. Hey, Joy. Joy says Mama Dory did an excellent job bringing Meghan up as an intelligent woman, very smart, warm, kind-hearted, beautiful, always want to help, even as a child. Yeah, and you saw that, right? Throughout with Love Meghan season 2, you thought that. So the flow of that show is, right, when Meghan knows, this is the thing. This is what Meghan does in her personal life, right? This is what she does. This isn't just made up for the show. This is what she does. If Meghan has a guest that comes over, right, she's either going to, it depends on the guest. She's either going to fix them a snack, or she's going to fix them a drink, right? She's gonna fix it something. She's gonna fix it something to eat, or she's gonna fix them a drink, right? Um, she may make something for them, whether it be a basket of their favorite things, or she'll think of something to make for them that will be useful for them, right? Or she's going to make them a flower arrangement, right? She's going to have them do some type of hands and crafts, arts and crafts, I should say, or flower arranging, right? And that's what she does. She's going to write them a note, little tidbits, or just whatever. But that's what she does. She's going to either give them a gift or she's going to make them a gift. Right? So that is Meghan. That is Meghan. That is Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. That's what she does. Some people may say that that's corny and that's geeky or whatever, but that's her. That's what she does, and she's letting us know through her show, this is her. This is what she does. It would be great to have a friend like that, don't you think? Don't you think that would be awesome to have a friend like that? You go to your friend's house and you know that they're either going to make you something to eat, right? Or they're going to make you something to drink. And they're going to give you some type of gift, whether they bought it off the store or they made it for you, right? It was funny because some of those episodes I was watching with a cousin of mine, and she was like, I love Meghan. I love that girl. She was like, but damn, that girl is extra. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, girl. She was like the scarves, the head scarves. And I was like, what? And then it hit me. The first episode where Meghan made the head scarves. Remember that? Remember that? Like the head scarves she made for the American that does the pastries. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, man, that girl. She was like, and I mean extra in a good way. She was like, she really does detailed stuff. And I was like, yeah, you know. And she was like, and it just seems like it comes easy to her. It comes natural to her. You know, she was like, girl, I wouldn't have made that shit. She was like, I would have bought something at the store. Oh, I thought that was so funny. But yeah, I'm loving your guys' comments. Let's see. Oh! Let me go ahead and move on to the next thing so you guys can enjoy the rest of your Sunday. So, With Love, Meghan Season 2, if you haven't watched it, please go ahead and watch it. It's really, really good. Somebody in the chat said it's in the top 10 in the United States. That is great if it is. If it isn't, it's still great. Because at the end of the day, whether they like it or not, With Love, Meghan overall, it's a success. It's a successful lifestyle show. You know, point blank period. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about As Ever. As ever, Meghan had another seasonal drop. I hope you guys were able to get what you wanted. I went on there. I saw that there was orange marmalade. I didn't get it. I am not an orange marmalade person, so I didn't get it. But I did go ahead and get the shortbread cookie mix, because I've heard nothing but positive things about that shortbread cookie dough. Like, everybody that's got it loves it. Okay, so I went ahead and bought that, and I restocked on my peppermint tea. I ran out of peppermint tea, and so I went ahead and got another one of those. So keeps on saying the raspberry is coming. It's like, Meghan, you know, I know you're doing the best that you can do, girl, but we need that raspberry spread. I'm out of the raspberry spread. Like, Hello. So, you know, come with it, girl. Come with it. Come with the raspberry spread. Um, the apricot spread, I like it, but I don't like it as much as I like the raspberry spread. So, Meghan, come with the raspberry spread and the honey. I'm out of honey. I'm out of honey. What? Did Brandon the beekeeper going? Is he on vacation or something? Like, where is the honey? But I like the fact that the Napa Valley Rosé is still on sale. That they still got supply of that, so that's a good thing because people are already running out. You know, people drink. It's hard out here in these streets. People is drinking, honey. Okay, especially if you in America, you is drinking. You is getting your drink on. Oh, another thing we didn't talk about with the interview with Bloomberg, Meghan did indicate that, as ever, may go global. So that'll be interesting. Because they see it. They watching what we doing, right? They are watching what we're doing. She said that they know that there are American consumers that are buying products and sending them to Australia, Canada, and the UK. So they watching what we doing, which is a good thing. That's what business, right? Business. So as ever, again, I didn't buy the orange marmalade because I'm not an orange marmalade person. I'm waiting patiently for the raspberry to come out, or maybe strawberry, and honey. I did buy the peppermint tea because I had ran out, and I have a feeling my peppermint tea is going to taste really good with the cookies. So I can't wait. I didn't buy the crap stuff because I just have a feeling I'm gonna burn it. Like, right? I just have a feeling I'm gonna burn it. So I didn't get that. But oh, I'm sorry, and I bought the flour sprinkles. I hadn't bought the flour sprinkles, but I thought I would go ahead and give it a try and see what's up with these flour sprinkles. But great to see. It's great to see that Meghan continues, and that's why I called this episode "Meghan Reigns" because they got it together, right? They got it together, right? Business interview, boom. With Love Meghan season 2 debuts along with an as ever seasonal drop. Boom! Meghan's reign, right? Meghan's reign. Or Meghan Reigns, I should say. All right, guys. I've had you guys for 2.5 hours. I'll go ahead and look into the comments again before we go. Yeah, I want that raspberry spread and I want that honey. I need Brandon the beekeeper to get off vacation. Another thing Meghan did talk about too during the Bloomberg interview were the tariffs, right? So I don't think she's going to be able to go global until they calm down on those tariffs. Joy says, I would love to be a guest of Meghan. She would think I'm the greediest person. Miss Leah says it too. She wants the raspberry spread. Yeah, I wonder what's going on with the raspberry spread. Because I just went to the store, the grocery store, the other day, and the raspberries actually are on sale. They're on sale like 2 for $5. One thing about Meghan, she'll never admit it, but she's a perfectionist. You know, the raspberries ain't right. She ain't gonna put it out there in the market. So, or maybe they felt that they just don't have enough inventory yet. That could be it too. Yep. H Night says Chef Jose is a mature person, whereas Workshop Willie isn't. Yeah, okay, so Marshall brings up a really good point. That's what it is about Meghan, right? Her quirkiness. Yeah, there's a certain quirkiness about her. I know my cousin was saying she's a little corny in a good way, and I was like, yeah, there's something, yeah. But yeah, Marshall nailed it. Meghan's quirkiness is so enduring, it makes her relatable. Yeah, yeah. You, you know how you have that friend. The majority of us have had a friend, right? Whether it was high school, junior high school, or maybe in your adulthood now, where um, they're always doing the right thing, no matter what. They're always doing the right thing. They're always helping people. Um, they go out of their way, right? They're pretty, this, that, and the other, but they're a little nerdy too. They're a little nerdy or they're a little quirky. Like, you understand what I'm saying? It's like we all know somebody who's like that, or we have a friend that's like that. Meghan reminds me of a really good friend of mine that I've known, God, my God, since maybe seventh grade. Yeah, maybe since seventh grade. And me and her were talking the other day, and we were just talking about how old we are now. And you know, she was talking about how she was going to um, go volunteer somewhere, and I was like, "Girl, you need to chill," because she was gonna go to church, and then she was gonna go volunteer somewhere, and then she was talking about going to the Dominican Republic to do some work, and then she was talking about how she was going to um, go through some clothes of hers and wash them, fold them. She was going to go to the store and buy some really nice bags and put these clothes in a bag and drop them off to Goodwill. And yeah, you understand what I'm saying? And I'm just listening to her, and I'm just like, but that's her. She's always doing the right thing, always helping people out. You know what I'm saying? There's just some people in the world who just want to do good. That's their character, and that's Meghan. I guess is what I'm trying to say. That is Meghan. You know. All right. All right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this live podcast so you guys can enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Um, we didn't talk about Prince Harry. But let's go ahead and talk about him real quick. WellChild Awards coming up September 8th. Okay. I highly encourage. There was a squatty that brought this up. I was participating in a TikTok live, and there was a squatty that brought up a really good idea. WellChild Awards September 8th. If you're on social media, just constantly retweet about the WellChild Awards. Constantly retweet about the children the children and their families that are being honored. Don't mention that family. Don't do it. Just retweet WellChild Awards. Hashtag WellChild Awards. Hashtag the good work that Prince Harry is doing and has been doing in regards to the WellChild Awards. Put a huge spotlight on the children WellChild Awards. Don't feed the machine about Prince Harry possibly seeing King Corrupt. Don't feed that machine. Okay. Feed the positivity machine. Make WellChild Awards trend. Put a spotlight on those beautiful children and their families. Thought that was a great idea by that squatty. Okay, so that's what we should do September 8th. Today, okay, today, Princess Diana. All right, before we leave, August 31st, right? August 31st is the day that we lost Princess Diana. So, you know, I saw her picture and I was thinking about where I was and what I was doing when I had found out that Princess Diana had passed. And, you know, I was in the military. Probably doing push-ups. I think I was in basic training, if I'm not mistaken. But I just remember hearing about it and other soldiers around me hearing about it, and we all gasped. We all were like, like we couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe it. And I remember calling my mom, and my mom was crying. And my mom was like, my mom said it. She said, just when she found happiness, they kill her. And my mom was sobbing. And this is a black, my mother is a black American woman. And she was sobbing. And she said it. She said, just when they found happiness, I'm sorry, let me rewind that. Just when she found happiness, they killed her. That's exactly what my mom said. That's why I say, you know, when they really try to make it seem like we Americans are just so in love with the royal family, they just have it so wrong. I mean, you have pockets of Americans who want to claim that they're monarchists, but they really aren't. You know, it's safe. Let me put it to you this way, and I'm going to let you guys go. It's safe for an American to say that we're monarchists because we don't live in a monarch country. Our country is not a monarchy country. I mean, we're headed towards fascism. But it's easy and it's safe for an American to say that, right? But really, when Americans think about the royal family, Americans seriously think Disneyland. I'm sorry, but that's really what we think. You know, if an American really sits down and thinks about it, would an American really want to be a part of the royal family? No. They seem like they seriously live in a gilded cage. They seem like they don't have any fun. But anyway, back to Princess Diana. Like I said, my mother, as a black American woman, that's how she felt about Princess Diana. She was sobbing, crying her eyes out. My mother really, really loved her some Princess Diana. You know, and she really felt that the royal family had something to do with it. And to this day, she still feels the same way. She feels that the royal family had something to do with it. And what I mean by that is that she feels like they were wrong in not protecting her. Okay. All that she got, you know, she didn't have a seatbelt on and the driver was drunk. Da, da, da. But look at the other factors that led up to that point, though. You understand what I'm saying? Look at the other series of events that led up to that point. So anyway, you know, I'm pretty sure Princess Diana is on Prince Harry's mind. So, you know, it's sad because Princess Diana she would be in her early 60s, right? Wouldn't she just be in her early 60s if she was still here today? It's sad. It's sad. You know, it's sad. because she would be enjoying her grandchildren, um, and she'd still be fairly young, you know. All right, guys. Um, Again, September 8th. If you're on social media, if you're on X, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Blue Sky, if you whatever, hashtag WellChild Awards. Spotlight those beautiful children and put a spotlight on the great work that Prince Harry has been doing since he's been a Patreon of the WellChild Awards. Don't feed the beast about Prince Harry meeting with his daddy. Don't feed that beast. Me personally, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't. And if it doesn't, that's sad. Because at the end of the day, that's a relationship between a father and a son. But that's not how they see it. But anyway. All right, guys. Before you leave, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. I appreciate you guys joining us today on this live edition of Sexist Talk. I am your host, Special K Thoughts. You can follow me here on YouTube, Meghan, Duchess of Advocacy. You can follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, Meghan, Duchess of Advocacy. You can follow me on Instagram, which is Meghan, Duchess of Advocacy. You can follow my, not my Instagram page, you can follow my TikTok page, which is Special K Thoughts. All right. So you guys just make sure that you feed the chickens. Make sure that you hydrate because it's hot. It's hot out there in the streets. And no bad energy, okay? Are you guys ready to do the rebel yell? Let me look into the chat. Are you guys ready to do the rebel yell? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Continue to wear the SS on your chest because Sexo Squad, we are the best. They can't stop talking about us. Sexo Squad, Sexo Squad, Sexo Squad. They act like that we scared. They act like because they write articles about us that we supposed to be scared. They act like just because they mention our names, we supposed to be scared. Sexist Squad. We are clickbait. They use us for clicks. Sexist Squad. We are paying their bills. All right, guys. I have Special K Thoughts. I love you. I love you all, but I gotta go. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, squaddies.